Namaste, good afternoon, everyone at Auroville. Salutations to Sri Aurobindo and the Mother. I was there recently and witnessed the bonfire celebrating the birth of Auroville. And I was reminded of two phrases which are part of a Tibetan course which I had done. One is the fire of divine love, and the other, the light of divine wisdom. Matri Mandir, looking like the glorious sun, represents divine wisdom. The sun was referred to as visible Brahman, the only visible God. And the bonfire, the fire of divine love. In this short exploration, I would like to take you through a very important concept in Advaita, the concept of witnessing with a direct impact on daily living. Sakshi Bhav, witness consciousness. You see, without this impact on daily living, we would just end up discussing theories. And that is why my teacher would say beauty in simplicity. Keep things simple, things which impact daily living directly. Otherwise, it can just be intellectual gymnastics. So, when I was asked to delve deeper into the subject of Advaita, I yet knew that it must be simple. I remember a humorist saying, "The truth is simple. If it was complicated, then everybody would get it." So, this witnessing is what I will speak about. And I'd like to start with the words of Sri M.P. Pandit, who was a staunch devotee of Sri Aurobindo, and his emphasis on this point of application in daily living. He says here, otherwise, knowledge tends to become a mental preoccupation with little effect in life. So he is talking about jnana, the fire of knowledge, impacting daily living. The result of the understanding of the teaching of Advaita is that one starts operating more and more in daily living from witness consciousness. witnessing the flow of life, all the pleasures and pains, ups and downs, rooted in steady wisdom. So let us take a very simple example. When we react to something that is said, especially if it is said by someone we don't like, what is a knee-jerk reaction on our part based on our hardwired conditioning from day one. All our prejudices, all that we have believed in about ourselves, about others, and so on and so forth. You see, they come along with us. They are part of what we carry. And so if someone says something we don't like, we find this automatic response, not even a response, a rejection. And we get involved in the situation. We get involved in the drama. We become part of it. This is everybody's experience. And why does this happen? Because we believe we are this set of concepts we have been grown up to believe in. This is me, this is who I stand for, this is my religion, this is my economic background, my social context. This is who I am. So what happens is pure presence, pure being is now threatened by something which the other person said and revolts against it. No, this is my view as opposed to your view. And this is the drama which the ego loves. The ego loves drama. So we lose this faculty, God-given faculty of witnessing, allowing what is to be. And we shift away from what is, what presents itself in the moment, to what it should be. In other words, we don't witness, we observe. There's a very important distinction here. Observing is done by the ego with its sense of doership, and observing means judging. Most of us, most of the time, are judging. Let's take children who have not been conditioned to that degree yet by life. They don't make so many distinctions. They don't make so many comparisons. They don't have all these filters in place when they meet strangers. They are natural. They are flowing. They are fluid. They are pure being, joy, available and accepting what comes within their sphere. We lose the spontaneity because this pure aspect of being, witnessing, allowing things to be as they are, is now overridden by excessive judging. And this takes away our peace of mind. That most precious gift we have been given in our incarnation. Peace of mind in daily living. And life becomes stressful. Trying to defend my view all the time, trying to avoid some people, trying to be liked. But yet, God's compassion is so great that He gives us the gift of deep sleep. Which is the peace of deep sleep. So once again, this peace, which is the absence of the ego with all its gymnastics, is what we all seek in daily living. Now, how does observing change to witnessing? When we accept that whatever happens in life is God's will, then we are at peace with what is. We may or may not like what happens, and we do that which we think and feel we should do in a given situation. But the first acceptance has already taken place. I no longer resist the happening. It has happened because of the will of the source, God, consciousness. And the second, equally important tenet, nobody is the doer of their actions. Neither myself nor others. Why? Because we are all instruments created by the same source. That same source conditioned us differently, placed us in different geographical environments, economic environments, different schools, churches, mosques, temples, so on and so forth. But that same consciousness is behind it all. When we accept that people say and do things based on their conditioning, which they didn't create, God did, then we stop relentless arguing with people. We may see their point of view, we may not. But when the sting of doership is removed from the equation, there is no animosity, there is no hatred, there is no malice targeted at an individual. That all drops away. And the result is that I may not agree with someone, but we can still move on as far as the relationship is concerned and enjoy other aspects of it. When there is no blame, hatred, malice, condemnation, which are all forms of judging done by the ego, I am at peace. So, when this understanding takes root, I find I go through the travails of life, the challenges of life, day by day, whatever may come, with a witnessing attitude. And that witnessing attitude makes me centered, balanced, not swinging between the extreme polaric opposites. You see, this is the dance of duality, Nataraja's dance. We are born into the framework of duality of every conceivable kind. Left and right, up and down, front and back, rich and poor, pleasure and pain, me and the other. This is the framework of life, Advaita. Advaita means not two. Advaita doesn't mean one, it means not two. What you see is dual in nature. But the fact is, consciousness is speaking through one instrument and listening through the other. If there was no consciousness, me and you would be dead objects. So, consciousness is the speaker, consciousness is the listener, not two. All there is consciousness. So, this phenomenal teaching of Advaita makes us see, hey, look here, look at your relationship, not only with people in your life, but your relationship with events that transpire in your life. Thoughts which come, are they based on separation? Are they based on judging? Or are they seen in the light of clarity, in the light of wisdom for what they are, and embraced as the Leela, the game of life, which we have all been placed in? So, why not accept this fact that we are a brotherhood of instruments through whom consciousness, God's will, functions? And we find by and by we become more and more comfortable with others. We have no longer stuck labels on their foreheads. And when we become comfortable with others, accepting them the way they are, we are more and more comfortable with ourselves, the way God made us. This is all a transformation in seeing, in daily living, which happens because the witness consciousness is where we are now operating from. You see, Joel Goldsmith, the American healer in the early 1900s, the tenet of his teaching was give up the belief in two powers, good and evil. Give up the belief in two powers because there's no power apart from God. And he was a renowned healer. And he said that the moment we withdraw this opposition, something good happened to me, something bad happened to me, this one is good, this one is bad. When we no longer split our vision in daily living this way, we are already healed, is what he would say. There is no power apart from God. You see, there's another way to look at it. Let's say you hear a very loud noise now, like a bang. The focal point becomes the noise. All your consciousness seems to rush towards the noise, and that becomes the center of attention. Now, we need to ask ourselves, where all during the course of our day is our consciousness rushing towards? Where is our attention going to? This one said this, that one said that, this one did this, this one did that. How could he say this to me? What if that had not happened? You see, that is where the attention is, in this dialogue of the thinking mind. The thinking mind of the ego, which is either blaming people or myself or situations, and so on and so forth. And when my consciousness has gone and got involved in all this mental activity, there's no presence. There's no presence of being present. What Ramana Maharshi would refer to as conscious presence. Because I have moved away. The thinking mind of the ego has shifted its focus away from what is to something which is completely the story of the ego. Me and my story, my precious little story. And that is why the sages bring us back to this moment, which is all there ever is. And the beauty of the teaching of Advaita is it literally dissolves the thinking mind of the ego. So one is left with this pristine peace. That is the beauty of this teaching. We find that where we place our attention during the course of the day determines our inner state. And when we rush towards what someone has said or something that has happened with all the baggage of our conditioning, we lose sight of one fact, that my reaction is based on my conditioning and it may not be the best reaction. I am reacting this way based on how God has created me. But someone else without having the same conditioning may react a very different way to what's happened, who has not seen life's experiences the way we have. So when we understand this, we understand there's really no right or wrong in that sense. There's my point of view, there's your point of view. There are two extremely valid points of view based on both the individual's genetics, nature, and conditioning. So we no longer take it personally, you see, that someone has said something against us. This personal aspect of living becomes impersonal in that sense. The ego loves to take things personally, whereas witnessing does not allow this engagement in the personal drama of life. All right, someone said something I didn't like. I decide, do I express my point of view or not? And if I do, I express it and leave it at that. I leave it to God. He knows best. And I move on. So, if one finds in daily living, one is operating more and more from this ground of witnessing, then it is pretty clear that the understanding has gone deep and is no longer at an intellectual level. And by deep is meant, one could say, from the head to the heart. And heart does not mean physical heart. Heart means the heart of awareness. So if you find that by and by your relationships are harmonious, you are at peace. But if you find that most of the time you are in conflict with what is happening in life, with people in your life, then it is an invitation to look at everything again in light of this perspective that all there is consciousness. You see, life is as we know it over in the blink of an eye. And so, the way we impact others, the way we relate with them, are we on the same side of the table or are we always opposed to them? Are we walking together on this beautiful journey of life? Or are we always creating this angst as far as our relationships are concerned? There's one teacher who said it quite beautifully. He said, if you can't do anything at all, at least don't be a nuisance to others. Don't take away their peace. This witness has never left us, you see. All your birthdays, as the years have gone by, whether it was your first birthday, 10th birthday, 20th birthday, 30th birthday, 40th birthday, and so on, the one who says, I turned 20, I turned 30, I turned 40, who is aware of this? Who is this I who says it was this birthday, it was that birthday? It is the witness to all the birthdays, which was always there. The witness has never left us. What happens through these wisdom teachings? We rediscover this quality. We rediscover our true nature because our inquiry has gone within now. It is not externalized, it is not going out there, but coming back. And so this Sakshi Bhav is what takes us through right till the end. My teacher would say, consciousness in action is understanding, and understanding in action is witnessing. So the next time you see someone, with this in mind, that you are looking at a creation of God, you will find that your entire approach to the person changes. Someone asked my teacher towards the end of his life that if there was one sentence, one message you would like to give everyone, what would it be? And he replied, love each one as if you were their creator. Love each one as if you were their creator. And then we find that our pendulum does not swing wildly anymore. We are not taking extreme positions. We are walking the middle path, Buddha's middle way. We see both ends. Our peace is not to be found there. It's at the point of equilibrium. As Nisargadatta Maharaj said, between the banks of pleasure and pain, life flows. The problem is, you want to be stuck to only one bank. Not possible. This is the duality of life. That is what creates suffering. I only want pleasure, I don't want pain. Which is already a judgment of how life should be to my benefit. So that's what I would like to leave you all with on this subject, you could say. And may you be lived by the simplicity and wisdom of this Indian tradition of Advaita with a direct impact in your daily living. I will just switch my view, and if we can sit for a couple of minutes in silence, that would be beautiful. I might be coming in the month of August to Pondicherry and would be happy to connect with you all when I'm there. I'd like to thank Luca for this opportunity to share my thoughts on the subject, and I do hope to see you all soon. Thank you.